Before I ever closed a deal, shook a client's hand, or even knew what the MLS was, I was just a kid growing up in Little Fall Creek, Oregon. My name is Joshua Grossman. I'm with Epic Realty, and I get questions asked me all the time is why did I get into real estate? So I thought I'd create a story, put it on my YouTube channel of why exactly I did get into real estate and why I love still being here after over 20 years. Let's jump into this video right now. Well, first the story starts, I'm a native Oregonian, and I grew up in Fall Creek, Oregon, just east of Eugene. Life was simple, we didn't have much. My dad was a logger, and he worked harder than anyone I've ever known. He taught me what it meant to show up every day with integrity and stand by your word and treat others like family. Those values have shaped me into who I am now, and it's how I live when I'm treating personally with people or with business. After college, I went to Linfield. I followed what I thought was the right path, and I moved to Portland and I took a corporate job. And I found out very quickly that as I started climbing that corporate ladder that I absolutely hated it. And so I decided that is not for me and decided to make a switch. So not liking what you do is not a fun thing, right? And so the discomfort pushed me to reevaluate everything. I wanted a career that gave me more than a paycheck. I wanted impact. I've always loved Oregon and helping others experience the lifestyle, hence the name Lifestyle and Ben channel. It just made sense to me to jump into real estate. And so, real estate was calling me. I picked up the phone and I answered. Oh, hey, by the way, thanks for watching this video. What we want to give you for watching this video is 3 gifts actually. A free relocation guide, chock full of the best things about Bend, Oregon. All the information's in the description below, so go ahead and grab that if you're planning on making a move, and it'll absolutely help you out. Number 2 free gift is a free buyer's guide, right? What's the difference between a buyer's guide and a relocation guide? Relocation talks about here, buyer's guide talks about the actual process of buying a house. Right? How do you pay your real estate agent? What's escrow? Those kind of things, right? All the stuff that most people don't just have a good understanding of because you don't do this all the time like we do. And then number 3 is the seller's guide. Are you looking to sell a house in Central Oregon? Well, we absolutely want to hear from you. But actually, if you're selling anywhere across the United States, our relocation guide, or our seller's guide rather, can absolutely help you. So, QR codes are on the screen, links are in the conversation below. Let's jump back into this video. So real estate called, what's next? Well, you got to study and pass the test, right? So it went well. I studied relentlessly. I don't even remember what it was, like 300 hours or something like that. Not too incredibly, but it was boring. And I know that the classes didn't teach me anything about actually selling houses. But regardless, I passed my test, walked away from the corporate job. I literally just left. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was just like, I'm going to go do this now. I had my goals set up, practicing real estate, aligned with my values and my goals and my roots. So, I got in around 2003, did pretty good. Won an award called the RE/MAX Rookie of the Year Award at RE/MAX and Equity Group here in Bend, which no longer is in existence. They went out of business actually. And they went out of business in 2008 when the downturn came. The markets crashed. It was super brutal. My phone went from ringing to just nothing. And I was like, man, what is going on? But I didn't quit. I adapted. I learned how to do short sales. If you guys aren't familiar with short sales or don't know what they are, they suck. They take a lot of work. They were no fun, and there was no happy at the end. Sometimes happy for the buyer that was getting it, but definitely not happy for the seller who was literally losing their life savings. It just wasn't fun. But I kept making a difference. I kept people achieving their dreams, moving, buying, selling. We got really, really good at short sales, and we were looking ahead at what the future would bring. So right around the time the real estate market crashed, I ended up injuring myself really bad. Broke my leg, playing softball of all things, recreational softball. So I was just out having fun, but I put a spiral fracture on my ankle and it took me out for almost a year. And at the time that was very rough because I can't sell houses when I can't even walk, right? So I recovered from that, and then life just continued to happen. I actually ended up getting a divorce from my wife at the time, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do now? I wanted to get back to real estate. I absolutely love real estate, but I had to pivot, right? And I had to pivot and get into an industry that I was completely unfamiliar with, and that was air medical sales, right? What is air medical sales? What does that even mean? You ever seen those helicopters flying around, got the crosses on them? They're hauling somebody. I was responsible for selling a membership in my local hometown for a local air medical company. I was like, I've never done this before, but I think I can sell pretty much anything. And so I went full force into that and jumped right back into the corporate world. And for 10 years, I worked my way all the way up to the top of the business and then decided once again, the corporate world is terrible and I don't want to be a part of it. Right? So I left there and got a hold of my good friend Kip Lohr at Lohr Real Estate, and I said, Kip, let's start selling some houses again together. And he said, absolutely, Josh, you're hired. Let's go. That was about the COVID time. I had my license for a while. I knew a lot about it, but COVID was definitely different. And I've been out for a little bit. I still have my license, kept it active, sold 1 or 2 houses here and there, but didn't really practice full time like I do now. COVID was crazy. We didn't get to talk to anybody, no face-to-face, nothing. It was videos and Zoom calls, asking people how much they would spend over asking. So while we sold a lot of houses, it wasn't the most enjoyable time and it was crazy. But Kip and I persevered and we did really, really well during that time. And then, you know, once again, life happened. This time it was on Kip's side, and Kip decided he was gonna kind of pivot his business and take a little bit of a backseat. And at that time I wasn't ready to do that. So I shook Kip, gave him a hug and said, hey man, I'm gonna go do this at some place where I can focus on what I wanna do. And so I started working with eXp Realty right here in Bend. They're actually a nationwide brokerage. You guys see my videos, you know that I was with eXp for quite a while. And you know, I killed it. I crushed it at eXp, did really, really well, won an Icon Award, kept going. And then, you know, a year and a half went by. And my friends that actually got me into eXp told me that I should come look at Epic Realty. And so I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good where we're at. So I waited about a year. And then after about a year, so 2 years at eXp, became an Icon agent. And I decided that Epic Realty was where I wanted to be for a couple reasons. A, it absolutely aligns with how I want to take care of my clients. Taking care of clients is absolutely important to me. Becoming your friend, your neighbor, not just your real estate agent. This isn't about a transaction for me. I really want to be part of your life and help you get to where you want to go. That is exactly where I am at now, and I love being at Epic, and I get to continue to help my clients at an extremely high level, and it's just awesome. So every client I have, I treat my family. I'm not just selling their homes. I'm not just helping them buy a home. I'm helping people write their next chapter, and I really love doing that. I love being involved with that part, and I put a lot of time, effort, and knowledge into helping you write your next chapter. So if you're looking for a real estate agent, you want someone just to shake your hand, sell your house, never see you again, or you want people to help you write your chapter with more than just emotion and feeling, and I bring an incredible amount of knowledge, over 20 years in the business. And you know, we just keep helping people and we keep winning. One of the last customers we helped was a local firefighter here, a retired Coast Guard, and he needed help, right? And we were able to negotiate $25,000 off his house so he could afford his dream house. That's what we love to do. Making friends, making neighbors. It's not just about business for us. What mostly this journey has taught me is that real estate is about a connection. That's why I make these videos, actually, so I can connect with you before we ever meet, right? I have almost 300 videos on this channel, and you've seen me do just about everything. If you're just tuning in the channel, you should like, subscribe, and share with your friends, because you can see a whole story. One of my videos were absolutely terrible to what they are now, which I think they're pretty good. Now, I'm not a creator by any means. I'm never going to beat Mr. Beast. But you can learn a lot about what Bend is about, what Central Oregon is about, and what Joshua Grossman and the Lifestyle Team is all about too. So if the opportunity comes, and you want to make your dream come reality, I would encourage you to tap that bell, pick up the phone, text me, call me, set up a Zoom consult, and I'd love to be a part of your story. So, final offer. No obligation always, right? Book a no pressure 15-minute call with me. Use the link below. It's got a calendar link, goes right to my calendar. Put a comment in there, DM, and give me ability to reach out to you, or just request a relocation guide, and we're going to reach out automatically. And if you want to sell, right, say, hey, show me the money, Josh, and let me go to work on telling you what we can do to help you in your next chapter. Joshua Grossman, Lifestyle and Bend Team with Epic Realty. And hey, thanks for watching. This is a little bit different, not really about real estate, kind of about real estate, why I do it, but it's a lot more about me. And I'm doing this, because I want people to know about me. I'm just a regular guy, just like the rest of you. I love Bend, I love Oregon, and I'd love to share my knowledge about this thing. Keep watching until we see you next time, or you give us a call. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.